something big is going on and I go for it. NSYNC is coming back in a bigger way than ever. In terms of their present, he says no. No, I'm gonna convince you, sir. Welcome. In terms of their present lives, this is big for them. NSYNC is coming back without Justin Timberlake, first of all. Well, you know, after their surprise performance at Coachella with Ariana Grande, all of a sudden, they got the feeling that they were onto something. And if the fans wanted it, then they want it too. They aren't pushing it unless you want it. I like that about them. They're mature. Joey Fatone and the rest of them. Look, the guys are all older, more mature men now. They appeal to a particular audience. I don't know that that audience is buying tickets for an NSYNC tour or new NSYNC music or anything like this. But I do know that they're doing, perhaps, a residency in Vegas. Now, residency, when I think of that, I think about that being a month or more, and at least 4 shows a week, you know? Do you love them that much, JC Chavez? Okay, only a few people? Do you miss Lance Bass? No. All right, Joey Fatone? No. Well, what about if Justin was to come along? Well, half of Coachella probably didn't even know who they were when they were performing. You know, because you're out there with the beautiful people doing beautiful things and you're it's a day of spreading love, whether you like something or someone or not. So I think at Coachella, everybody cheers for everything. It's a spread love day. NSYNC might have been overstepping in thinking that they were getting the genuine love when really only a few people knew exactly who they were and were in it. And everybody else was cheering just because that's what you do at Coachella. It's what you do. And then they'll get to Vegas and then they'll find out what it really is. You know? Other than their family members, there'll be 5 people. And one of them might be from Hot Topics just to give me the behind the scenes report. So, you know what I mean? I mean, I thought that they could tour without Justin Timberlake, but they have to tour with a bigger act. They have to be ready to be the opening act of. Like, I don't want to say they're like a nostalgic joke. I don't mean joke in a bad way, but I mean they're like nostalgia. Like, don't take yourself too seriously. It doesn't seem like the guys do. I've seen them do individual interviews, and they talked about, well, you know what, if we come back, we come back. Each one was saying, we have other things going on in our lives. What those other things are, I don't know. But, you know, and then if you're gonna tour, make it a spot date, opening for Ariana, that'll be fun. You know, don't do any new music, don't even go to the studio, lose that zip code. I don't think people care about new music from them. So, and Vegas would be, to me, at the most 2 weeks for them. At the most 2 weeks. So it wouldn't be a residency, it'd be a not Densey. I think, though, that whatever they're gonna do, Justin should support them because Justin is so big right now that he'll look like the even bigger person by supporting his bandmates, not by performing with them for a fee. For instance, if, say, they're in Louisville, Kentucky, doing a show. Justin all of a sudden shows up, even the guys didn't know that he was coming. And then Justin catches the fever standing on the side of the stage and decides to run out. That'd be great. Yeah. That's showing, but don't ask for a check for it, you know what I mean? And all that other kind of stuff. I think, just show love if you'd like to. I think it'd be big. And, you know, I know the Spice Girls are touring without Victoria Beckham, but she wasn't the star of the group. There was no real star of the group. It was a group of equal parts. Anyway, we'll be watching what happens. Good luck, NSYNC. And the reason why I vote for them touring is because as long as they get it, as long as they get the joke, you know, the nostalgic joke that they are, why not collect that money and have some fun? When I think of Magic Johnson, I don't even think of him being the president of the Lakers. I always forget about that part in his big resume that he's formed for himself since not playing professional basketball. I think of the Magic Johnson Theaters. You know, I think of the TGI Fridays. What else do I think of? I think of a lot. I think of EJ. Yeah. You know, his fabulous son. But apparently Magic abruptly resigned as president of the Lakers. This all happened recently. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this, but now we know why. because I didn't know at the time I was gonna tease you, and then we ran out of time on Hot Topics. Magic allegedly quit during a press conference. He did have the press conference. It's alleged that he quit for this reason, but I'm gonna tell you the reason that we found out. Here's the press conference. He called it himself. It was abrupt. And you know, when Magic talks, all the outlets go. Right, so they were all there, waiting to see what he was gonna say, because you don't know what he's gonna say. Well, he quit after he was accidentally copied on emails that were bashing him. Said emails were between the owner of the Lakers and the general manager of the team. Now, when you bash Magic Johnson behind his back in some emails, what do you think the jokes are? You know what I'm saying? And just the idea. I mean, we all talk about people behind their backs and stuff like that, but you gotta watch that. That's why I've never sent an email. I don't get an email, you know? And people are asking me, you know, Wendy, when are you gonna learn to email and when are you gonna learn to, at the very least, receive them? And I said, based on stuff like, and including this, I don't wanna know. Because I'm always talking smack about people behind the scenes. I think that Magic stuck it to him good. You know why? We don't do this in our real lives. We can't afford to just quit our jobs with a major press conference and making major news, because this is major news, especially because of the way he did it. I think that because he has more money than he knows what to do with in his life. His grandchildren, everybody in his family is set for life. Magic Johnson has saved a lot of money. So he's the kind of guy who, he doesn't need that Lakers check if he doesn't want it. He's probably only president just because, you know, he was the Lakers back in the day. And when you think of Lakers, you still think of Magic. And so, I mean, the right thing that normal people should do, and that's not Magic, because he could do that, but the right thing that normal people should do is bring both parties together. You know, the owner and the general manager, invite them over like they think they're gonna be sipping lemonade and talking smack. And then you tell them exactly and you have the copies of the emails, and you say, you know what, and that's why I quit. So you can make up any reason that you want to regarding why I've resigned, but I'm gonna let you do it. This is for normal people. I'm gonna let you say why I'm resigning. And I would like a healthy paycheck. I don't need the money, but just because, and then I'll donate it someplace or whatever. And if you don't play by my rules, you see these right here? Don't worry. Don't do it. Don't do it, I mean. Don't do it. Just saying. It's Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. All right, you like it. They're not saying anything about them being romantically involved, so we're gonna go with that since that's what they say. But they might be reuniting for all of, well, 17,000 people to see. We won't see it unless you go to the Hollywood Bowl. For one night only at the Hollywood Bowl. Have you ever heard of that place? It's a really, really magnificent structure. Look at that. 17,000 people it holds because they have all this grass. You know, see these bleachers right up here, they're empty. But for Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper one night, here's what they're doing. A live reading of the movie that they starred in, A Star is Born, and they're gonna sing all the songs live. I guess I don't need to ask whether my co-host thinks it's a good idea because everyone's clapping. Like, yes, keep it going. I don't mind this at all because they're not gonna be putting it on pay-per-view. I think that'd be too much special. All of a sudden it would take the specialness out of it. Pay-per-view, or if it was on any other, TV outlet. Just those people, I think that their true fans will run and buy these tickets. All 17,000 seats will be taken for that one performance. A live Oscar winner, Bradley Cooper, performing. And he's nervous, of all things for him to be nervous about, it's singing with Gaga. Remember how sweaty he was and how close they were? Do you think his girlfriend will be there? Because it's worth buying tickets to look at them on stage and then look at the girlfriend, her reaction. That one. Bradley wants to do it. Lady Gaga, no word on whether she wants to, but you know she wants to. In more ways than one. I don't know when these tickets are going on sale, but if you're a Hollywood bowler or if you're out in LA and you want to do some sideline reporting for the Bureau, let us know that you're going and let us have your telephone number so we can be in touch with you, okay? Tickets are gonna sell quickly. Just saying. Bill Cosby wants to come home. Well, Mr. Cosby is accusing his trial judge of purposely delaying his appeal. So the trial judge, this is his fault. You know, there is an appeal. Bill Cosby does not think he's guilty. He obviously is in jail right now because he's been found guilty, but there's an appeal. So he wants to wait out his time between now and the time that the judge finally sees him back home. He wants to be released on bail. Apparently he thinks he's no flight risk or any endangerment to society. So far he's served 7 months of his 3 to 10 year sentence. Well, here's the deal. I think he'll do 3 years. I don't think that they'll give him more than that because he's older, you know, but the things that he did are dead wrong. The appeal might, I mean, you know what? While you're waiting for your appeal, the judge might change their mind and then up you to 7 years in prison. Say, 7 years instead of the 7 months that you've already done. You know, and you've already been found guilty. A lot of people don't like you. They don't like what you've done. They don't like that you've taken advantage of women with thigh gappers and other kind of trickery and chicanery that we would have never thought coming from a man of your stature based on how you made us want to look at you, which is as the father of our country. You say, and then you go and you do something like that, and now you want us to have sympathy for you? You want to come home? I guess you want to come home with no ankle bracelet? I guess you want to come home so you can just feel free to roam and do things? No, you don't get that. But I think if he would stop with all the appeals and just do his time and be quiet, you know, in the prison system, when you're a good prisoner, and excuse me, with the exception of 64 women.
Mm-hmm. Over 60 women.
Over what?
Over 60 women.
Over 60 women. He hasn't killed anybody, and so maybe you do your time in prison. Maybe a year from now, they'll look at you and they'll see you're such a good prisoner that they will then take the ankle cuff off you and maybe you can come home. But you'll only be limited to a particular part of your house. And maybe they'll get you like a better mattress, or maybe they'll allow you to have a few more of your friends over than not. Because he's an older guy, you know. He's also suing, this is the bigger part of the case, he's suing his former lawyers claiming that they robbed him blind. No pun intended. He's angry that they charged him $9 million for 9 months of work on his trial, but the reach of these different lawyers was over 5 states. So if you have a reach of it was 5 states, not over.
What was it? 28 lawyers in 5 different cities.
Right. So $1 million a month is really cheap. I mean, when you think about how lawyers bill you, you know what I mean? 28 lawyers, a bunch of different firms, 5 different cities, because you realize that what he was accused of and found guilty of happened all around the place, not just one particular area. So the claim is that he couldn't review the contracts that they made him sign because he's blind. Well, but a man of your means has seeing eye people all around you. So I don't feel sorry for that. Do you feel sorry for that? And you know what? Hey, Cosby, if at the very least it wasn't one of your men for hire to see what you're signing your life away, where's your wife? She does still care, doesn't she? Where are your children? He's got children, grown children, enough to guide their father. All right, sign right here, daddy. Sign right here, daddy. Have the lawyer look it over, but have one of the children, a family member, a trusted person, sign. So now he's suing the lawyer for $9 million. I just don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. All right, let's move on. There's this rapper, he's brand new, his name is Lil Nas X. Have you ever heard of him? Clap if you have. Okay. A few people in the audience, not everybody, but a few people. He's brand new. The kid is young and he's got the #1 song in the country. You might know the song. It's called Old Town Road. You'll know it when you hear it. It's #1 in the country. There he is, 20. Well, his real name is Montario Lamar Hill. And now people are criticizing him for choosing the stage name Nas after the one and only Nas. Right. The kid's excuse was, and it's a pretty good excuse, but this'll teach you that when you decide to make up a fake name for yourself, choose carefully. So the kid chose this name because the kid is from somewhere down south and, you know, he didn't think that, he thought he was talented, but, you know, it takes a lot for other people to believe in your talent. So he said, all right, well, let me just pick my favorite MC of all time, Nas. And this is gonna be, you know, my street name, Lil Nas X. Next thing you know, he's the biggest thing going. Even, I'm sure if he knew that he'd be the biggest thing going, he would not have put Nas anywhere in his name. Unfortunately, he's now stuck with that name because he's #1. That's the only name we know him by. I'm not calling him Montario. What kind of name is that for a rapper? So he's getting criticism, and so a little bit of what he said is, Nas is a legend, and I never meant to disrespect my stage name. I actually might change it in the future. Well, you can't change it now because we already know who you are. Lil Nas X, you're stuck. I wonder whether Nas has any feelings about this, because the real Nas hasn't spoken out on it. Like, he's busy doing other things. I'm sure he knows about it. He probably is not mad about it because he knows he's there's only one nasty Nas. Kid, just stick with your name, but for everybody else who is gonna be doing something famous or you think you are, and you might only be sitting and practicing in your bedroom in between doing homework, think about your stage name really carefully, because once it's stuck, it's stuck. Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited for that Hot Talk panel. I love when, you know, we come out and mix it up together. So that's a little bit later. Here's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. A contractor was hired to paint the word school in a crosswalk. And, well, just take a look what the outcome was. S-C-O-H-O-L. Now, I don't know exactly where the people are walking on the streets who would have said, excuse me, I know it's none of my business, but you're spelling that wrong. Where were not just one person is hired for this. You figure you hire a contracting company, it might be 3 people. None of the 3 people saw this? This is crazy and embarrassing. Well, when the city officials finally found out about the mistake, they quickly hired a different contracting crew to correct the mistake. But the question is, why did it take so long? And I'm embarrassed. Everyone, a little louder, thank you. It's the weekend, we've got more great show. Up next, the Hot Talk panel is here to break down the hottest topics of the week, including Kanye taking people to church. So grab a snack and come on down. Joining me today, actress, comedian, Allie Wentworth. Yeah. Yup, Also, entertainment journalist, say hello again to Ellie Lee. Yeah. And TV host and pop culture expert, Jawn Murray. A lot to get to. Britney Spears, everyone. You know, her fans have launched this Free Britney campaign, and they believe, the fans do, that she's being held in a mental facility against her will. We've spoken about this on Hot Topic. Britney responded by posting this video. Take a look.
Hi guys, just checking in with all of you who are concerned about me. All is well. My family has been going through a lot of stress and anxiety lately, so I just needed time to deal. But don't worry, I'll be back very soon.
Jawn, will Britney be back very soon?
I think so. I remember back in 2007 when I was covering Britney's breakdown then for the Star Jones show on True TV.
Right.
And that's when she dyed her hair blue, she shaved her head, and she was chasing paparazzi down the street with an umbrella.
Right.
It was a hard time for Britney Spears.
Yeah.
But listen, you know, we're more evolved now with mental illness, and there's medicine, and we understand how to deal with it. So she can get the help that she needs, she can take a break and come back, because if we got rid of everybody in the entertainment industry that was dealing with mental illness, the whole business would be gone.
Well, Ellie, there's something to be said for that. What's your thought?
I think Britney needs to take a good amount of years off. Get off social media. Don't do the Vegas show. Just take a break. Like, take care of yourself. I mean, that video, when I saw that video, I was like, oh, this is a situation. And
she didn't look well in that video where she was just talking to her.
Well, it was just bad makeup, ladies. Come on.
Yeah, no,
she was rubbing her eyes.
That is no makeup, okay?
I actually think that was a healthy sign for her to say, like, I gotta take a little time.
You don't think
off.
that was somebody in her camp saying, just get on because your fans are...
No. I think she was saying, I think she's probably evolved enough, like you said, to know, you know what, I'm not feeling great.
Then why isn't she in control of her business? Why does her father still have a conservatorship? And all these years, I mean, the father, and I believe that the Spears family, I think they're good people. I don't think that they're robbing her or leading her down a wrong way to keep her locked up for whatever reason to spend her money, no.
But you think they're behind it?
I think that Britney is not well, and I think, like Ellie, she needs to take at the very least several years off.
Several.
And be a mother and get back into herself and take care of herself.
Wendy, I think we like a conspiracy theory. This time last year, everybody said someone was holding Richard Simmons hostage. This year, it's Britney Spears. Just let these people work and be free and take their meds.
Well, that's part of the problem, though. Will she take her meds responsibly? And even if she does, how do we know? I mean, from what I've learned from the Spears family, you know, her little sister, as well as Britney, they always wanted to be mothers and they always wanted to do this thing. And I think that Britney's career got so big that her fan base just became maybe too much. Gosh, when do I retire? When can I have a moment to be the real Britney?
Right.
Well, especially when you go to Vegas, there's a lot of pressure. You know, to have that show, too. And Lady Gaga's coming in. I mean, it's scary.
She doesn't need any more money, though.
She doesn't need any more money, but I mean, what is she gonna do? She's not a good quilter.
She doesn't have to do anything. She's got all of her money. She can sit back and do her.
I know, but I think especially somebody with a history of mental illness, she needs a hobby.
Well, maybe she can downsize. Instead of Vegas, maybe she can set up a new residency in Dollywood. Maybe.
Yes!
Maybe not so big.
Yes!
Anyway, let's move on to our next story. Kanye, I loved his Sunday church service at Coachella. It was controversial, though, because people were making fun that he was selling these high-priced venue items.
Yeah.
The
Church merch.
Church merch, yes. Sweatshirts say, trust God, also Holy Spirit. They're selling for $225 a piece. I say, if you can get it, because people are loving on you that much, then why not? I don't know why you would do this unless you absolutely loved him.
Listen, for $250 for a hoodie, Bishop T.D. Jakes better have prayed over this thing. Kirk Franklin better come out and sing. You won't have to give me more than a hoodie that looks like the designer of the costumes from 12 Years a Slave did them than for $250.
But premium designers are selling sweatshirts, premium ones that you see on the boutiques in Fifth Avenue in Italy, for $250.
We're not talking about Marc Jacobs, we're talking about Kanye West.
But Kanye has elevated himself in such a way because people have allowed him to be. I mean, you elevate him like that.
Right, but when you see these
fan,
sweatshirts that say the Holy Spirit, are they referring to Kanye or the Lord Jesus Christ? Because I thought they might be.
I think that Kanye has a cult. And that people are in that cult. And yes, they're referring to both. Kanye
referring to both, right.
Yeah. But my question really quickly is, where is the money going for this stuff? Because it was,
I can tell you, Ellie, so most people think that these people are volunteer choir members. They're not. All those hundreds of singers that you see out there, they're all the background and studio singers from LA that haven't been working. So Kanye has revitalized the background singer business.
Well, that's nice.
So I think this expensive merchandise is paying for his singers. Nonetheless, the idea of Kanye West leading a church is like Stevie Wonder leading Ray Charles across a busy highway. It's the blind leading the blind.
Well, they're going people to follow him.
I actually thought it was funny because I thought, what if, when you said that, what if Kanye's taking the money used to sell this church merch so he could buy more expensive, like Nike merch? If he was just
or fund his campaign for president.
Or fund his campaign for president.
No, he wouldn't win, but I bet you there'll be a lot of people who will, you know, side with Kanye, and then he'll, like...
Well, when you're a god.
Look, he's Yeezus. He's been Yeezus for years. You accepted that, and so, you know, anyway. All right, the next story in high school. There's a principal in Houston who is imposing a strict dress code on parents. Now, the parents probably won't follow this. I don't know, some might. Here's some of the codes. No low-cut tops. No revealing leggings. If you wear leggings, then you have to have on a short longer than your booty. No short dresses. No pajamas. No hair rollers. No satin bonnets.
What?
No shower
No
caps.
satin bonnets!
No saggy pants. Allie?
Yes.
No saggy pants, no satin bonnets.
No satin bonnet.
God forbid curlers.
No house coat and house chiff. I think it's cuckoo crazy. I don't think you can, look, they're uniforms for younger students. I don't think you can tell the parents what to wear.
You have kids.
I have kids, and I've actually picked my kids up in pajamas. Right. And I've also picked my kids up looking slutty, and it's not for the school to tell me what I can and cannot wear.
Yeah.
So when was that? Like you're on your way to go out with George for dinner, and you have to...
No, I don't dress slutty for George.
She dresses up like Barbara Walters for
Yes.
George.
What do you feel?
I think it's insane. And listen, I'm not a parent, but I know that parents' lives are insane all the time. You guys are doing a million things. The last thing you're thinking about is, oh, I should dress nicely for school. It's like, no, I'm going in the way I look at home, okay?
Exactly.
Wendy, I love the idea of this dress code at the school.
Oh,
Let me tell you why. I saw the news clip of that mother with that bonnet on, and the only person that should be leaving the house in a bonnet is Tammy Roman in the Bonnet Chronicles. She's the only one who gets permission to leave the house in the bonnet.
Now, do you have children?
I don't have children.
You
but
don't have children.
Here's the
That's
thing.
why you can say that.
This is what I know for sure. When you want to go to work, you wear a uniform. When you want to get to certain restaurants, you wear a proper attire. And when you want to get lit in the club, you got to fit the dress code.
But let me tell you something.
Why isn't there a dress code to go up to Bam Bam and Bay Bay School to take them their lunch money?
Here's my thought. You shouldn't even have to have a dress code. I would just think that parents would understand and know.
And rollers?
like,
Who's wearing rollers to
you
their
can't-
kids' school?
A lot of people
Some
do,
people
I guess.
have to wear rollers.
Here's my
Look
thing.
how crazy suits my hair.
I understand what the principal is saying about the dress code, but you as the principal are on the firing line to get complaints directly in your face from the parents. You should have taken this right to your bosses, or that would be the Board of Education and the superintendent, and kept your name out of it, so then that way they can impose a rule list from top here, so that you're not blamed for this. And yes, it is inappropriate sometimes the way parents go to school. You know.
But also, don't you agree when you're a parent and your kids are at school, if you don't have the eccentric other parents, like the hooker-looking mom, what else are you going to talk about with the other parents? You talk about all the crazies.
Listen,
It's a conversation starter.
It's a conversation starter. You know your tribe.
I may or may not have been a bad kid. I didn't want my mom to come to the school and take her belt off. Now, if she'd have came up there with a bonnet, some rollers, and some hooker pants,
All I'm saying-
I'd have been even more embarrassed
How
than getting a
difficult
spanking.
is it just to at least put a nice scarf over the curlers or something like that?
Yes.
I mean, like, are you wearing a bikini top to
Yes,
pick up your
exactly.
kids?
You know, but it's these new age moms and these new age, like I was talking to the singer Coco from SWV. She said her son had to tell her to stop wearing her green wig up to the school. He was like, Mom, can you just look like a normal mother when you come up here?
Listen, everybody's opinion is always so interesting here on the Hot Talk panel. I want to thank my panelists for being here. For more information on each one of them, go to wendyshow.com.